How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, this is a story that's coming out reference the Ministry of Justice. For those that don't know, the Ministry of Justice are in charge of our prisons, and namely David Gauke, who's the Justice Secretary. As usual, guys, I'm going to read the story. I'll put a link in the description below. I'll give my analysis at the end of the video, and then I'll put a link in the description so you guys can read it at your own leisure should you choose to. So, and as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, right? So the headline reads, £7 million to be spent on phones in prison cells to stem the flow of illegal mobile phones. Most prisoners queue for public phones on landings, which can trigger violence or fuel demand for illicit mobiles. The government is set to spend £7 million on installing in-cell telephones in prisons across England and Wales as part of a drive to improve rehabilitation and stem the flow of illegal mobile phones, the Justice Secretary David Gauke is set to announce. The technology is already in place at 20 prisons and plans are underway to extend the scheme to another 20 over the next 2 years, as it is understood. Most prisoners queue for public phones on the landings, which can be a trigger for violence or fuel demand for illicit mobile phones, the Ministry of Justice have said. Last year, a report by Lord Farmer found that good family relationships are indispensable to the government's prison reform plans. In a speech at an event hosted by the Centre for Social Justice, Gauke will say, "Decency also extends to how we treat prisoners fairly and consistency, with time out of their cells, activities and the opportunity to maintain family relationships." As Lord Farmer made clear in his groundbreaking review last year, supportive relationships are critical to achieving rehabilitation. Officials emphasised that in-cell phones are subject to strict security measures. All calls are recorded. Users can only call a small number of pre-approved numbers, and active monitoring can be introduced if there is any suspicion the service is being abused for crime. Prisoners will continue to pay to make calls, the MOJ added. The move forms part of efforts to improve inmates' ability to maintain family ties with relatives after one is jailed, which is seen as a key factor in reducing the chances of returning to crime. The announcement on in-cell phones forms part of a £30 million package to improve safety, security and decency across the prison estate following several years of surging levels of violence, self-harm and drug use. In another step, every prisoner will be given a risk rating under plans to choke off the influence of organised crime behind bars. Inmates will be assessed according to their chances of taking part in violence, escapes, disturbances and gang activity. The new digital tool, which is being rolled out following a pilot in 16 jails, compiles data from law enforcement databases and prison incident reports. Gauke will also commit £16 million to improve the fabric of prisons, targeting establishments with the most pressing maintenance issues, in other words, the most run-down prisons, which there's a lot of them. Reveal the government is considering enhanced drug-free wings where prisoners can live in better conditions if they agree to undergo regular testing. Regular testing is classed as VDT, voluntary drug testing. Announced £6 million has been earmarked for safety measures, including airport-style security scanners. Certain prisons have already got these. Improved searching techniques and phone blocking technology. Confirm plans to give governors more power to set incentives earn privileges schemes under which inmates are rewarded for good behaviour. Incentives earn privileges, guys, is a behavioural system that's in the prison. The speech comes a day before the government's record on prisons falls under further scrutiny with the publication of the Chief Inspector of Prisons, Peter Clark's annual report. Now, let's dissect it. Let's dissect it. 1 second, guys. I'm trying to just put these in order. Right, so let's do it. So £7 million to roll out phones. No, it doesn't mean mobile phones, guys. It means in every prison that I've been in your cell, there's a phone socket, right? Just like you have at home, there is a phone socket. And like I say, normally it's cleaners that have a phone, right? With it's just it's not a wireless phone. It's just a phone, a white phone, a BT phone or something, sat on a thingy. You pick it up. It's a wired thing. You talk. You dial your pin. You dial the number. If the number's clear, the number will ring. You can have the privacy to talk in your own cell. Because obviously, if you haven't got an in-cell phone, you've got to wait till you get out. Now, depending on what prison you're in, what regime you're in, you could be out 3 times a day. could be out once a day, depends, right? Strange ways, 22, 23-hour bang up. Chances are you're gonna get association. You'll get exercise over association because of staffing levels. Then you go to Forest Bank, and you could be out 3 times a day there. You get out for your breakfast. In strange ways, you've got to eat in your cells and stuff, right? But at Forest Bank, you get out for your breakfast, out for your dinner, out for your food, and then you've got association and you've got exercise. I think you've got 2 lots of association and 1 lot of exercise a day at Forest Bank and stuff, right? So obviously, but that might be your only chance to get on the phone. Now, as it states there, right, Lord Farmer, he stated that prisoners that receive like visits and stuff whilst in prison are 39% less likely to reoffend. The Ministry of Justice send prisoners hundreds of miles away. The prison phone, guys, why have prisoners got mobile phones now? It's not down to committing crime and getting drones and parcels brought in. Yes, a lot of prisoners do that, of course. A lot of prisoners, though, have got mobile phones, guys, simply because they want to speak to the family or the girlfriend or the kids. And you're like, well, they can do that on a prison phone. The prison phone, guys, is so expensive. Example, I work 7 days a week in prison. I got a whopping £11.25, and then he took £1 from me telly. £10.25, guys, for 7 days graft, right? The prison phone, if you're ringing a mobile, I think it's about 39p a minute, 40p a minute, right? So the prison phone is very expensive. Now, I used to talk to the unit manager at Forest Bank Prison and say, here in 2017 at the time, I got out of February. I've actually been out of prison 17 months today, guys. I walked out of Forest Bank and I've not been in any sort of trouble since, right? And I used to speak to the unit manager and say, here in 2017, obviously last year when I was in prison, we should be able to receive incoming calls via the prison PIN system. Why? Because it's cheaper, because obviously a lot of prisoners' family and friends and girlfriends and stuff have got 3 minutes, right? So you could ring if your number's cleared, you should be able to ring the prison. The prison generates an extension number for the loved one. The only people that can call in that will get through to the prisoner, ringing him in his cell, right, is if their number's been cleared. Security remains intact, calls recorded, it's cheaper for the prisoner, and it enforces and encourages family ties whilst in prison. I think that's a very good idea for me. Thick, uneducated street kid, but I think that makes perfect sense to, like I say, receive incoming calls via the prison PIN system, where your loved one with unlimited minutes, 3 minutes, right, even if they're on the landline, free evening, weekend calls, can ring up you in prison. Their number's been cleared, right? Because obviously, rather than it being a one-way, because as it stands, prisoners can only, on the prison phone, can only ring out. It's a 2-way line. It goes via the PIN system, calls recorded, security remains intact, encourages family ties and stuff like that. And the fact that there's a cell in a phone in the cell means you can speak in privacy. Obviously, not really privacy if you're sharing a cell because of double cell and stuff. So that's that. So they're rolling that out to another 20 prisons. Apparently, it's already been installed in 20 prisons. I think it's a great initiative. It will encourage family ties. But like I say, the prison phone's still far too expensive. There is a problem if you've only got 3 phones on the wing and stuff, and you're out for an hour and people are on the phone for 15 minutes and stuff. People kick off. People want to speak to the missus, the partner, the kids, whatever. I have seen kickoffs at the prison phone. So it's a good initiative. Like I say, you get privacy. You can talk in your cell. You can talk all day. If you're in strange ways and stuff, right, you can only get on the phone once, twice a day, maybe, right, depending on staffing levels and stuff. So that's a great initiative. Yeah, the family tie things whilst in prison, in my opinion, the importance of family ties whilst in prison, whether it's visits, whether it's phone calls, can be the difference between life and death. Like it says, prisoners that receive visits are 39% less likely to reoffend. The Ministry of Justice send people hundreds of miles away from home, which is just absolutely crazy. So yeah, so I'm just going through it, guys, now. Groundbreaking officials emphasised. Yeah, because like it says there, the emphasis on the in-cell phones are the strict security measures, calls recorded, users can apply for a small number of pre-approved numbers. In strange ways, they'll ring you to make sure that have you got a loved one in this prison? Yes. Are you okay to clear his number? Yes. In Forest Bank, you put an app in to just clear the number, no questions asked, to save money because they don't want to ring mobiles and stuff. Yeah, it says there, the move forms part of efforts to improve inmates' ability to maintain family ties with relatives after they are jailed, which is seen as a key factor in reducing the chances of returning to crime. it's all talk, guys, at the moment, and talk is cheap. But like I say, £30 million package, security, safety, and decency across the prison estate. And he says like £16 million to improve prisons that are falling into like squalid conditions and stuff. Yeah, man, like I say, it's all good, man. It's a step in the right direction, guys, but again, like I say, the prison phone is very, 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 very expensive. So for me, my honest assessment is that we should be able to receive incoming calls via the PIN prison system, where calls are still recorded and security is intact, and it's cheaper for the prisoner and stuff, and then he can spend his money, what little money he's earned or what he's getting sent in, on toiletries, food and stuff like that. And that'd be a great little thing. It might in part reduce violent incidents, so it's not going to cure the problem, absolutely not. But like I say, with the importance being on family ties whilst in prison can be the difference between life and death, self-harm, no self-harm. It's something that should be actively encouraged within the prison system. That's my opinion, guys. I stick to it. You'll have to let me know what you guys think about the video, about the idea. I'll put a link in the description below as usual. Let me know what you think, guys. Is it a good idea? Are we going soft on prisoners? As a former prisoner myself, I actively encourage this and welcome this initiative 100%. Let me know what you think, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Speak to you soon. Call you out.